Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another real-time art journal video. Today I'm going to paint some flowers, Dina style-y. So Dina does a fabulous abstract flowers, and that's what I thought I'd have a play with today. I'm going to go with like a tulip style of a flower, and I've picked out some really lovely colours which I'll talk you through in a minute. I'm just going to get some background colour on first. So that was lime, this is watery. Not particularly wanting it everywhere, but that seems to be what's happening here. That's fine. Cool. I probably will come back and add some more depth onto all this in a minute. So I think what I'm going to do first is start off with my darkest of colours for the colours that I've picked. So I've got a set of colours for pinks. I've got raspberry, magenta and taffy. For oranges, I've got tangelo, papaya, and I mean maybe apricot would work quite nicely. Let's go apricot. Then purples, I've got blackberry, lavender and iris. And yellows, I have mustard, lemon and sunshine. So I'm going to start off with the darkest of all my colours first, and I'm going to put some blobs on my page. And I'm going to use the shape of my brush. Yeah, that is a 24. I think that's the biggest one. Yeah. Oh, why have I got 3 of those in here? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to load my brush up. And I'm not going to overthink this. I'm just going to do like blobs like this. Okay, so that's my first layer of colour on there. Then let's finish these ones. Let's go in with a bit of magenta. Let's put out some taffy as well. So these are going to be quite abstract, as in I'm not going to overwork them. I am literally just going to pop the colours on like this. And then when we go in and add leaves and stalks, it'll all start to look a bit more flowery. I love those pinks, aren't they gorgeous? I think some purples next would be nice. Let's do blackberry. And put out some iris. And lavender. Okay. Now, I mean, I can even have some of these outlining, overlapping a little bit. Okay, instead of washing my brush, I think I'm just going to wipe it off on that cloth and then go in with iris. So I'm using quite heavy brush strokes. I mean, I think you're either going to love this style or hate it. I don't think there's going to be in-betweeners. It's a fun, quick way to paint flowers. And like I say, this is channeling my inner Dina. Channeling my Dina style-y Claire style. Does that make sense? Yeah, so this is like my take on Dina flowers. So this is Tangelo, which doesn't want to come out. And almost with this sort of style, the less you care, the better it is. So the freer you are, the more likely you are to end up loving what you've created. The more careful you are, you're going to end up thinking, oh, I don't like that one, that's a bit funky. So try not to give too many cares about this. That was Tangelo, and I am washing my brush for these. I'm going to go in with papaya. Let's put a bit of papaya out and a little bit of apricot. I'm a bit excited with these paints, I think. Putting a bit much out. So I'm keeping my lighter stripes in the same part of all the flowers, and that's going to make them make sense, because then, you know, it's obvious that the light is hitting them all in the same direction. So the light's coming from over here and it's showing us these flashes. Right, I think we just need a little hint of yellow, and then I think I can start with leaves. I'm now overlapping a little bit. I could just do with a little yellow one here and maybe one up there. So that was mustard. Then I'll go lemon. Boop. Lemon. And sunshine as my light colour. Oh yeah. Oh, Dina's paints. You are my favourite. Okay. I'm just looking for a splatter brush, because what's another nice thing to do is when you're doing this sort of style is break it up with some splatters as well. Adds a bit more interest to your page. I've got all these colours over here, so I can go in with a bit of this raspberry. Isn't that lovely? Magenta. Why not? Let's have a bit of toffee as well. Blackberry. Ooh. This is that kind of it. This is really all about play as well. It's not about realism. I'm not looking to paint real tulips. At the minute, these just look like blobs of colour. And you notice in the background, I've made them a little bit smaller. I'm going to come in with some kind of ideas of stalks now and pop some leaves on, and I am literally just going to blob, blob, blob. Keep it loosey-goosey, as Dina would say. Right, so I'm just making sure these blobs are dry, mostly because I'm going to go in and pull green through, and I don't kind of want to end up mixing these colours in with the stalks that I'm going to try and add, or the ideas of stalks. And I might just have to grab a journal and use up these paints that are left over, because I don't want to waste them. Let's grab the craft journal. Just looking for a page where I can pop some of these colours. There's no gesso on this page, so it is just eating this paint. Okay, give that a wash. And sometimes these pages where I have used up paint end up being my favourites. It's really weird, and I end up being my favourite backgrounds because I've literally just shoved the paint on without thinking too much, and it ends up being really lovely. Doesn't look it at the minute, does it? But you know, I didn't want to waste that, so we'll just pop that over there. Then I can clean up this. I might need to get a new cloth. And let's give this a clean as well. This is all just giving this a little bit more time to dry off. Okay, so I'm going to find one of the new Dina brushes, if I can. No, not you. Is it you? Yes. So this one is one of the new ones that was released recently. This one's going to be great for just adding some ideas of stalks. So I'm going to go with a nice dark green to start off with. Let me just put this over here. Oops, didn't need that much. Dry brush. Now I know these are going to look a bit lollipoppy. That's okay. We are just going for ideas of flowers, aren't we? And we can bring some more leaves down here as well. So let me grab a nice big fat brush again. Oops, baby wipe. If that happens, you just go in and lift it off. I think maybe that brush is too big. Let's go with the smaller brush. In fact, let's lift all of that off. I don't like. What the heck? What was that? I mean, tulip leaves are long, aren't they? Long and green and fat. So I'm pressing my brush on, lifting it off as I pull away, and then it's creating those kind of loose leaf shapes for me. You can see I am not paying too much attention. bring a bit of this darker green along the bottom just to ground this a bit more. Now I'm going to do the same thing with a lighter green, and because it's wet it's going to blend a little bit, so I'm not really overthinking this. I am just popping the colours on, letting them do their thing, trying really hard not to overwork or overthink this, because these kind of pages work best when they are very loose and free. Okay, what I think is going to be really nice is to go in with a little bit of white and add some very loose highlights. Oh. Do you know, this is going to be one of my favourite pages. I'm just going to wash that out. Okay. It's got a bit of green in it. I don't really want that in there, so I'm going to just add some little white light highlights on some of the flowers. I like that. And then I think a little bit of text stenciling is just going to finish this off really nicely. Doing a page like this is really fun, and I think, you know, if you're in that kind of place where you're like, I want to create, don't know what I want to do, something like this is a good kind of loose, free experiment. And you can always go in and with a pencil add more details if you want to. I'm going to leave it because I actually really like this. Just looking for sapphire. I want to add a little bit of stenciling up in the top part of my page. Oh, I think I might have to do more pages like this. Quick and easy. Oh my gosh. Right. A little bit of that dark green. I've got some dark green left over. These blending foams are a little bit damp, so I'm just blotting it on my painty cloth. And then I might just put a little bit of not too much. Let me give that a quick dry. You know, I said I wasn't going to draw over these. I think I might. So I just want to make sure this is dry, because if I don't like it, I will just wipe it off. The beauty of something like this is that you don't have to draw over all of them if you don't want to. You can just draw over some. And keep your lines loose as well when you come to draw over them, and you don't even have to like draw over them exactly. a little bit of stamping to finish off, and then I think this is done. Love my black dots. Like I say, these are on my website. Keeping it loose. Also quite nice to bring a bit of that text stamping onto some of the flowers as well. Kind of connects it all together then. Love that. Right, time for some words. How is that looking? Oh, I like it. Oh, this was fun. This was fun to do. I wonder if there's an Art by Marlene quote that would work on here. Yes. How about that? Literally just came out. Not every day may be good, but there is something good in every day. I'm tempted to actually put that down here. And I guess the trouble with trying to put words on straight is then if it's not straight, it's really obvious. Right. I just feel that some final white splatters might just finish that off really nicely. There we go. So that was a super fun page to create. Nice and easy, loose and free, letting the brush shape make the marks on my page. Now, you know, yeah, you can tell that's meant to be flowers. I think maybe tulips, but I haven't got too caught up in detail, keeping it loose. So a fun one to do. Great for a warm-up if you're struggling to know what to create. Have a go at doing some blobs and turning them into flowers. As I say, not my idea. Very much inspired by Dina Wakley. Yeah, so give it a try. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.